Hello everyone, it's fall. Beautiful time to go out and take some photos. When you come back to edit those photos though, do they pop? Do they look like they do out in the real world? Do they look even better sometimes? Here are a couple tips using Adobe Lightroom to make your fall photographs awesome. We are now in Adobe Lightroom. We're gonna make this photograph out of that. That was my starting point. That's the raw file, a bunch of raw files actually I sandwiched together into a panoramic. And we're going to make it go from there to there, which is a much cooler, way better fall scene. And it's only going to take a couple minutes. So I have this photo over here that I just duplicated. And just so we can see what we're doing a little bit, but we're going to zoom into the middle of this panorama to kind of gauge what we're doing. I always start with the light panel. So we're going to look at the light panel first, and then we're going to go and jump over to the color mixer, which is where most of the magic for fall photography photos can really happen. So in the light panel, I'm looking at this image, and I'm seeing that the sky looks pretty decent. But the foreground, the trees, everything looks kind of dark. There's not a lot of punch to this photograph, not even remotely. So I'm going to go and I'm going to increase the shadows. And that kind of fixes the darkness of that aspect of the photograph, but it's really low contrast. So I'm going to work a little bit. I'm going to see that there's not a lot of blacks and there's not a lot of whites. So I'm going to go to the negative to increase the blacks. And you can see that that increases the contrast a little bit. I'm going to go a touch to the whites to boost the sky a little bit without going too bright like that. And that's probably about right. And a little bit more on the shadows. Now what we've done is we've lost some contrast, so we're going to boost the contrast a little bit right now. And we're going to work on contrast with specific colors next, and maybe come back up here if we need to. So that's when I'm going to go down to the color mixer. And the color mixer, again, is where the magic happens. I'm going to start with my yellows, and I'm going to maybe increase the saturation a little bit, and then I'm going to boost the luminance of the yellows. Now, remember, the saturation increases the color yellow, and then the luminance brightens or darkens that specific color. So I could take the yellows and darken them. And in a lot of fall scenes, yellows really have an impact on a lot of different colors. But I think that is pretty cool. I'm going to go to the oranges, and in a lot of these things, you can kind of go both ways. You can make them darker, which is a different effect, and maybe you like that better, or I can go a little bit brighter. I'm just going to go a touch brighter. I kind of like them a little bit brighter to pop out from that green. See that? I like that a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in the greens. I'm actually going to darken the greens a touch. I'm going to lower the luminance on the greens. That's going to increase the contrast with everything else, all the other colors. And then the sky needs some work. The sky is kind of bland and blah. Let's go back, and we're going to use the color mixer still. And I'm going to really darken the blues. And you can see that has a pretty cool effect overall with everything. It packs the water down here, makes the sky a lot cooler. And that's pretty sweet right now. What we're going to do now is, gosh, that looks great. We're going to go back up to the light panel, and I'm going to maybe just a touch boost the overall brightness, and I'm going to increase the contrast even more. Look at that. And slightly down on the whites. This is just a look and feel. I'm going with feel right now. We're just seeing how it looks. You know, I sometimes need to adjust the white balance just a touch. That looks good. Just a little tiny bit of warmth. And I wonder if we could add any vibrance. The vibrance slider makes the already colorful parts of the image more colorful. And I kind of like that just a little bit more. Look at that scene. That is incredible. That's what we started with. That's what we ended with just a few minutes of edits. You could apply this same concept to almost anything else, many other types of scenes. So if I am in Lightroom and I copy these settings, I can go to another scene and paste that. It's the same scene, just another version of that. Go into there and see what it does here. Look at that. Holy cow. It really makes a dramatic impact. Look at that. Before and after. Before and after. Holy smokes. So going back to this, if you're shooting scenes like this and you're wondering why your colors aren't popping, you can do a lot by going into the color mixer and then backing that up with some light panel adjustments as well. So hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas for me or anything like that, let me know below. Thank you for watching.